Well, hi everybody. This is Christian with Ready to Disney, and today we're doing kind of a special interview vlog. Next to me is my father, Michael Tatsch, and we're actually here in location at Scotch Plains, New Jersey, at the 1910 House Bed and Breakfast. A little bit about it: my father is the owner-operator. We're about about 20 minutes south of Newark. And beautiful area, lots of trees, older homes. Probably some of the cheapest fares or nightly prices you're going to find in the area. It's definitely better than the city, which you have a couple options to get to the city if you're traveling to New York. There's a train station just a couple miles down the road. You can take the train all the way through into Newark Penn Station. You'll flop trains and go in, and it'll spit you out the Penn Station right there by Madison Square Garden. I also looked up some prices. You can Uber from here to the Newark train station for about $25, some a little less. So this is a great option if you guys want to come to the city, or if you want to come and visit some of the local places. There's some great festivals that happen in these little towns. Westfield's got an arts fair that happens in mid to late spring. There's a place called Northland's model trains. He's got about the size of a Walmart and set up thousands of miles of train track. So a lot of things to do up here. If you're up in this area, please look it up. It's 1910house.com. Again, my father's owner-operator, and it's a great place to stay. So
I like to call myself innkeeper.
Innkeeper, okay,
Yes.
I like that.
It's actually a little more correct, but that's kind of what I do.
Well, we're here this week for a couple of reasons. One, and the most important, is of course he lives up here. As you know, Jenny and Madison and I live down in Texas, so I only get to see him about once a year. As you can see from my garb, big A&M fans. We've mentioned that in a previous vlog. So I like to come up during the fall and see the weather, and we'll sit and watch football all day tomorrow and cook and visit, and I'll go home on Sunday. But we decided to do an interview here, and if you've seen our other vlogs, I've talked about different things about Disney World and some special things to us. One of the vlogs mentioned different ways to get there. We've both driven and flown. Me and my family have. But Dad takes a little different approach. Him and his wife Kathy make it a little more adventurous. They take what's called the auto train, and if I know correctly, it's about a 5-hour drive down towards DC area.
It's about
Where he picks up the train. Tell us a little bit about how you guys got started taking that train, why you still use it.
Well, the thing is, actually one of my guests told me about it here at the Bed and Breakfast. It was a long time ago, and we talked about how we like to go to Disney. And by the way, one of the times that we usually meet up with each other is at Disney World. And I'm working on some videos right now from our 2017 trip, of which Chris was there as well. And I would just happen to talk about our trips to just another Disney person, which was another guest, and you'd be surprised how many people I get that are just bona fide gaga over Disney. And so we're just talking, and we talk about ways to get there. And she said, well, what, take the auto train? And I said, yeah, because you know what, the drive can really be tedious. And as you get older, you realize that more and more.
How long is the drive from here, by the way?
Well, it takes about 16 hours from here.
Right, and it's about 17 and a half from Dallas, and we drive straight through at night.
Yeah.
And so you're talking, if you don't drive straight through, you're talking 2 days.
And that's driving time, so you're really talking about a lot more time with that, with gas stops, pit stops, maybe eat some food. We usually cut it halfway and stay just as you cross over to the South Carolina border, across the border. But this came up, and they said, let's give it a try. So it so happened on our anniversary year, actually the year before our 10-year anniversary, we decided to go down at Christmas time. And we decided, let's give it a try. So in 2011, we went down via auto train. We loved it. And it's so relaxing.
Now you get so you arrive at the train station, you go ahead and go in, you guys get a stateroom, right? So you can sleep.
We have we take a sleeper with a full private bath in the room. And it's not spacious. Like nothing on a train is spacious. However, it has everything you need. And then the private bath has a shower in it, and a toilet, and in the shower. So
And they serve you what, a dinner and a breakfast?
they serve actually a really nice dinner, and we take it in the room because there's a table, a fold-down table, and you've got a sofa and a captain's chair. The sofa turns into the bed at night, along with one upstairs if you want one. And you've got a sink in the room, and it's just nice. And one of the best parts is you can bring anything you want into that room, which means you can bring wine or snacks or whatever you want. And so just bring it on the train.
And then you guys, y'all usually spend your time watching old Disney videos,
That's what we do.
old trips. You've got some vlogs you can rewatch.
That's right.
On your way down from
Yeah.
Ready to Disney, give you some ideas of some other things that maybe you forgot about. So you guys, it leaves DC usually around what,
About 4 o'clock.
4 in the afternoon, and you get down to what's the name of the town in Florida?
Sanford. It's a suburb of Orlando. It's like halfway between
Daytona and the resorts.
And the resorts.
So it's about a 45 minute drive.
Yeah,
from,
about a 45 minutes.
So you get unloaded, you get the car out, you wait for that. Usually doesn't take too terribly long, right?
No, it doesn't. And you do have an option if you're one of the first 30 people that want to do that. You can pay extra and you'll be one of the first 30 cars off. Now, this train holds a lot of cars. It holds 325 cars. It holds over 600 passengers. So when it's fully loaded, it's about a mile long.
It's a big train.
So it takes some time to it's like getting luggage at any airport. If you're last, you're last. And so we opted that this time. So we're going to be one of the first 30 off.
That's right. Yeah, you were telling me about that. Now, what's one of the most interesting things to me is, so you leave, you're on the train at about 4 p.m.
Well, actually, you leave.
Well, you leave the station
to,
about 4, right?
Yeah, you have to be, last call for the car is, I believe, 2:30. And it means 2:30. And, but they'll let you board a little earlier. They let you board if you already have your car in. About 2 o'clock, the sleepers load first, just like on a plane, first class goes first. And then you have coach. Then you leave at 4.
You leave at 4, and then you're down in Sanford, in Florida by about 9:30 the next morning. So really, guys, it's unfortunately, there's not a way to do that from Dallas. I always wanted to. As a matter of fact, I've always thought about one year taking even a longer vacation, drive up here, see you guys, and then go down and do that, because you get all the scenery of driving, but you don't have any of the work, and you get there pretty quickly. You can sleep on your way.
Right.
And
Most
then by
of the time you're sleeping.
And when you pull your car off and you start driving to the resort, you can still be at the resort by 10:30, 11 at the latest.
Sure.
Plus it gives you the option to stop by the grocery store and get things like that.
Or fill up a gas, because you may not have done that when you were getting down
Exactly. So then you'll have a car there if you want to do other things. And as I mentioned on our trip this year, we use that Amazon Prime Now. That was really easy to use, by the way. But this way you have your car, which also means, sorry dads and husbands out there, but I hate to tell you this, the wife and kids get to spend a lot more money because your suitcase is now your car.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can load up on the stuff, and when you head back, you don't have to worry about that luggage space.
Yeah, you're gonna make sure you leave a little extra space, because a lot of the times we're bringing snacks and stuff down with us that we buy here, and as you empty those things out, you'll find that you refill it with the stuff that you buy down there.
Exactly. Now the auto train is Amtrak, right?
It is Amtrak.
So you can go onto the Amtrak website if you live up in the Northeast area. Take a look at it. It seems like a pretty cool option.
It really is. It's nonstop, because you can imagine you can't just have a person off. Oh, by the way, give me the red Chevy.
Right.
You can't do that. So it makes one stop about halfway to take on a new locomotive crew. Your cabin crew is the same, and they take on water and dump the old water and stuff like that.
Well, that's cool. Now,
and the other thing is that it really turns into 3 trips when you think about it. The excitement of going by a train, first of all, has its appeal. Then you're at Disney, and then you can look forward to, it's not that bummer feel when you leave Disney World. Hey, we get to go on the train again. And
that's true.
It's another. It's what helps us get through that.
You're still cramped like you are on a plane, but you're cramped with your people.
Yeah, and you can walk around. You can get up, walk around. You can walk up and down the halls, go to the dining car, go to the lounge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that's just another interesting way to go, and I thought that was important to share with you guys, because this is an interesting way to go, and I'm a little jealous about it. I like it. I like that idea. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is, you guys have heard me talk about the resorts, the value, the moderate, the deluxe. You've heard us mention that technically our home resort is the Port Orleans, specifically the Riverside. The first time we went with Michael here and his wife Kathy, and that's where we stayed. And they've stayed at several other resorts. However, Port Orleans is still kind of a home resort usually because it's in that moderate price. It's a little, we've talked about pricing before, so you guys know how that works, but it's a great resort. However, like I said, you've stayed at other ones. One of your favorites is the one that you usually stay on your 5-year anniversary trips, which is the Grand Floridian. You've also stayed at another deluxe resort over there at the Yacht Club.
At the Yacht Club, yes.
What is it, other than the fact that your honeymoon was spent there, if you took that emotion part of the way, what is it about the Grand Floridian that you guys like? What makes that the special one every 5 years, again, outside of the honeymoon?
Well, it's the style of the resort kind of suits. I don't know if you see any of the stuff behind us or the 1910 House Bed and Breakfast. If you go on the website, you can see that it's all done in period antiques from around that turn of the late 1800s and early 1900s. The Grand Floridian is patterned after that. Mm-hmm. And it just, one of the things that caught us that we even in the marriage ceremony, Kathy was wearing a wedding dress from 1902, so she likes that style. So
sure.
That's what we picked for the honeymoon, and we just always try to go back there for that reason.
Now, you left out one part. Now, one thing you have to realize is that my father, who's the A&M grad of the family, by the way, was an engineer for many, many years, and there's a part of the Grand Floridian that ties into that. That's the monorail. That's probably one of the fun favorite parts because that is one of the 3 resorts that the monorail goes through. You have the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian. And we talked before about sometimes it's fun just to take that inner loop, but it's especially useful if you're dining at one of those places. And if you leave the park and you're going to go have dinner at the Polynesian or at the California Grill like we did this year, which by the way we're talking about in our next vlog. Jenny wanted to be a part of that vlog because her excitement over the dinner we did there was cool. But anyways, you can go around that loop, and Grand Floridian is on there, and I tell you what, that lobby is amazing. It doesn't cost you more than about 10 minutes worth of your time. If you just want to get off on that loop, go into the Grand Floridian lobby and just take a look around. They've got things from every season, and there's always chocolate in the lobby to look at.
Oh, yeah.
They've got all these great ornate things that they do. If you go at Christmas time, they've got the big gingerbread house.
Yeah.
They've got, if you go at the right time of day, they've got music playing in the lobby, live musicians. So that's a good place to stop. I love to look there. Now we're going to come back to the Grand Floridian in just a second. You guys are going to stay at a new resort this year.
Yeah, and we actually did want to go back to the Grand Floridian, and we waited about 3 days too long, and for some reason this year things just got booked up really quickly. It's one of the smaller resorts. It only has about 900 rooms, and it just booked up. There wasn't a thing. I said, nothing, not even a suite, and they said no. In fact, a lot of the places we tried Port Orleans. That was our second place, booked.
Yeah.
And we tried, well, what else can we do? But one of them that intrigued us that did come up was one of the Vacation Club. And it was the first vacation club.
It was the first Disney Vacation Club resort.
And we also, it's Old Key West, and we also have some friends across the pond that also do videos, Phil, M, and Ben.
We referenced that in our first couple of vlogs.
And we've had the pleasure of actually having them stay here with us. And they stayed at the Old Key West twice. The very first time that we saw their videos in 2009. And I don't remember the year, last one, but I do have that.
But I think that was only part of their trip, and they moved to another.
The next one. The other one, it was all the way through. And so we're going to go, I have the room numbers, he gave them to me, and I'm going to go look and see where they are once we get there. And so we thought it'd be pretty cool to stay there. It's a massive resort. It really looks pretty cool.
The rooms are big. You have your own kitchen.
The rooms are huge. We're doing a 1-bedroom villa, and it's over 900 square feet. and so it's massive in size.
Now, the fun thing about this one is that Old Key West is part of what they call the Disney Springs area resorts. It's very close to Disney Springs, but also they're really not priced as a deluxe resort. There's a lot of times throughout the year you can get that for not a whole lot more a night, as low as maybe $30 to $50 more a night than Port Orleans. Nowhere near as expensive as the villas at the other deluxe resorts.
Yeah.
Great option. Now, there is one other really cool thing about this resort. Obviously, it's themed in a very, in Old Key West, Florida Keys kind of feel to it. They have a restaurant there called Olivia's. I know it sounds silly. Out of all the dining options you have out there, you're going to find the best fried chicken on the planet at this place. Matter of fact, you guys are planning on eating there twice.
We're planning on eating there twice, and if we can sneak in a third one, we might do that as well. In fact, I think I did. I think I put Friday night as well, because we had Friday night. Yeah, I don't think we had planned anything for that night. One of the nights right before we leave, so we might go back there again.
Now, as you guys know that watch our vlog, something that's big to me and Jenny and Maddie is, it's weird talking about Disney World, is crowds, but mainly when it comes to travel time. At the end of the day, your dogs are barking, your feet hurt, you're ready to get back to the resort, stuff like that. Now, what I'm interested in once you get back is I'd like to hear the transportation is from there to the parks with the bus system. Now, I do know that the crowds for those bus lines are always very low. But I want to see how the travel times are, because they take different routes from that area, and just kind of get a feel
We'll
for.
let you know. We'll try them all different ways. Remember, we also have our vehicle, so we're going to be trying it at various places using the vehicle, using the bus system, and to see how it takes.
Well, and Dad here is one of the ones that got us interested. I'm a very point A to point B kind of person, but the last couple of trips, we've always found a way to take a bus to another bus, or take a bus to a monorail, and a monorail to a bus. And it's really, if you do it at a time when you're not just in a hurry to get back to the room, it's really a fun way to do that. And all the transportation is interchangeable. We're also going to have a little bit of a vlog, give you some details on how to use the lift and the minivan service, some tips and tricks on that to get around the parks. Well, one of the last questions I have, everybody has their favorite dining spots. Dining is a big thing at Walt Disney World. As a matter of fact, for you and Kathy, it's usually a bigger part of your trip than it is for a lot of other people. You'll ride your rides, you have your fast passes. Sometimes you don't even care if you miss one. But you do your rides. You may watch a show here or there, or a parade.
We like our parades.
The parades, you do like your parades. But those are not usually, it doesn't appear to be your focus points outside of the one year our first year that we went. Then we were constantly moving. You guys usually start your day a little later, end it a little earlier, and it's usually due to a dining reservation. So a lot of people do that. They do, and there's so many good places to eat. I mean, from not just in the parks. Obviously, Epcot is a big eatery place because every country has at least 2 restaurants, quick service and a signature. The resorts have them too, but you guys do one that's very interesting that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. I know you still need a reservation because it does fill up.
It does fill
but
up.
It's a little bit smaller kind of a thing, and it's in the afternoons usually, which is not the time that a lot of people, especially with kids, like to be able to leave the park to go all the way to this place to eat, because that typically means that your day's probably over with by the time you're done with that, unless you go back for a fireworks show or something. So anyways, what I'm talking about is over at the Grand Floridian, you have what's called afternoon tea. And I'm intrigued about this. I've seen some videos and stuff. We've talked about it a little bit, to the point where I think it's something that Jenny and Maddie and I might do on our next trip one of the days. Well, we're just going to end it early and go back to the resort. Maddie likes to go to the pools and stuff. So tell us a little bit about, what is it about the afternoon tea? Is it the quality of food, or is it more about the ambiance, the time of day? Tell us a little bit about why you guys enjoy that.
Well, obviously, one of the things that has its appeal is it's in the Grand Floridian. Now, we've eaten at just every restaurant in the Grand Floridian, including Victoria and Albert's multiple times. We don't always eat in all of them, or any one of those, all the time that we're there. We never miss the afternoon tea. Even if we're staying in Port Orleans, even if we stay in the yacht club, even we already have it booked for this trip, and we're staying in Old Key West, we will not miss the afternoon tea. The appeal of that is you need to pick a day somewhere in the middle, and we always kind of do, and you really want to get out early. You know, you need to spend some time at the resort, and a good time to do that is in the middle of the afternoon. Try to get out there before the parade. And so you're out,
Sure.
You have an easy monorail ride, you get over there, or you go back, get dressed, and you go over there. Your day is done, but so what? And, you know, it's just a nice way to wind down. And now, the place is absolutely beautiful. It's in the garden view room. And the reason it's the garden view room is because you're looking at the gardens of the Grand Floridian, the inner area, which has all of your fountains and your pools and trees and greenery and gardens. And you're also seeing the lake.
Right.
And you can see parts of Magic Kingdom, you can see parts of Polynesian. And
Now, is this is it only one seating
no,
a day, or is it?
you have about a 3-hour window to make some sort of spot in there.
Okay.
So people are coming and going. We picked the latest one so that we still can get to the Magic Kingdom, and that's usually where we go. Then we go back to our resort. This time we may pick a different one that will be closer to
dressed
Key
up.
West.
You don't
You get dressed up, but you dress like you would expect someone going to an afternoon tea
Sure.
would do. And it is nice just to go over there, we look around, and then we hit all, we get on the monorail, and we go around and look at all of the resorts on that, and shop in the shops. And so if you're going to shop somewhere, you can do it right there at the resorts. They all have
Sure.
something different. And that is an overall experience. And that's what we were kind of looking for.
So your later one in the day, what is that typically?
We
What
take
is-
it at the very end, possibly the last reservation you can make is at 3:45.
Okay, so now tell us a little bit about the food. Are these little sandwiches?
What
or
you
they-
have is, now there's a couple of different ways you can do that. So the basic one, you're gonna get tea sandwiches, and they're
Okay.
really good, and you can have various types, and it's really their choice. Then you're gonna get scones after that,
Okay.
and you're gonna have jellies and butter. Boy, when you get to the end, the strawberries and cream is to die for.
Ooh, yeah.
And they put the Grand Floridian emblem on top of the cream, which is really cool. And of course, then you have your teas, and you have teas from all over the place. And each person gets their own tea pot. And so,
Okay.
and you just keep pouring out. You get about 4 cups of tea out of that thing.
Now that we're talking obviously to a lot of people who are taking kids and stuff like that. Is there an appeal to the kids to that?
Absolutely.
Now, obviously they don't have to drink tea. They
There's
can
other
have,
stuff they can do. But sure, because they love scones. I mean, who doesn't like, my
That's
kid
true.
doesn't like like a biscuit with butter and jelly.
That's right. That's right.
And so they're having a ball. There are a lot of them there.
Well, cool. That's an experience that I'd like to have. You guys have talked always about, like you said, you have never gone on a trip where you just, since your first time doing that, you've always done that at some
Every
point
trip.
during your trip.
Yeah.
To kind of finish this off, I did have another thing. We went right in the thick of the not so scary Halloween. We're going to review that later, and we're kind of fair. We try to at least point out what we liked, what we didn't like, and kind of give an overall experience. Now, you guys are going here in a couple weeks. You're going the first weekend of December. So there's all the Christmas stuff. Everything's decorated up in the Christmas stuff. And you're doing something specific, though, this processional there in Epcot.
Yeah, you can see the processional from, if you're standing back of everyone, and you're going to be standing there for some time. And it's quite an event. If you look on YouTube, you can find many people who have put videos of these things out there. It's pretty impressive, and it's incredible. That's all I can say. I have seen parts of it. But we've always done it when it's at the end of the day, and we see it's at night, it's beautiful, and you're tired. And so we have now booked a lunch, which then gives you an actual seat option inside the
amphitheater?
The amphitheater.
And that's
So-
right in front of the American Pavilion.
That's
That's
right.
the big stage and the stuff
And
where.
our show time is at 6:45. So that's still early enough where you can, if you've been at Epcot, we're planning on getting there later and then continuing to walk around Epcot a lot more. Because in addition to that, there's also some of these countries that are explaining their customs that they have about Christmas. And we're at various times to that.
Sure.
And we saw
Like the German
one.
pimple.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we saw one of them the last time. We want to see them all this time. That's a goal that we have. So we're doing that. And we're also doing the Merry Christmas Party, the after hours event.
Oh,
which
yes.
is going to be similar to Mickey's Not So Scary. It's Mickey's Merry Christmas Party. Haven't been to that one. It looks pretty cool.
I'm waiting for the review on that one. So I have found a way actually to be able to do a linked video, but what we might do actually a kind of a phone interview with the live vlog. Found some neat ways to do that. So I'd like to hear about that. I understand they make it snow on Main Street.
They
So
do, and they give you hot chocolate and cookies. You got those all over the place. So
that's gonna be neat.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that comparison.
one other thing that we'd like to go back to is the afternoon tea. And this time, because we get out somewhere around 5:30, we have decided to book a horse and carriage ride over at Port Orleans. And the route that we want to take is through the French Quarter. And then after that's done, then we're heading over to the French Quarter to Sassagoula and have something to eat there.
Nice, very good, very good. Because remember, guys, most of the dining options anywhere on property, you can actually get seated as late as 8:30 if it's in one of the parks, or 8 o'clock if it's one of the parks. And the resort restaurants are open even later than that, and you can end up. So just because you're eating at 3:45 in the afternoon, you don't compare it to when you're at home, because you also
Right.
got to remember, usually after that you're being active in some way, even if it's just
Yeah.
going to your resort pool. You're burning a lot more. You can eat later. It's fine. You're on vacation. Have fun with
Right.
it.
Our
You know?
carriage ride is scheduled for 7:30, so we're going to be hungry again.
Oh, exactly.
Got to get some beignets, and if they have mac and cheese or anything like we've eaten there before, we're ready for it.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be a fun trip, and I appreciate you coming on and explaining a couple of things that I've never tried before. The train, I don't know if or when we'd ever be able to try that, but I think that is such a cool way to get down there. I specifically did not list that in our transportation modes from before,
It's tough
because
getting there.
it's but it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to talk to someone else. Not too seriously. Obviously I interviewed the youngest one in the group. Now I get to interview the older one in the group of our
Bring
Disney.
that up, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But guys, this is again. Go on YouTube. You can find. Obviously, you look up Ready and the number 2 Disney. You also can look up MGTatsch. That's TATSCH. You can find some of his previous movies that he's done, videos that he's done. He usually does a theme for his whole trip. Does very good editing. You can definitely tell from some of the earlier ones in 2013 and 15, and then how he's even progressed since there. A lot of new tricks in there that he does. That's really cool. So guys, go check out that. Again, look up 1910house.com just to inquire or take a look around, look at the grounds. I may actually do some bonus footage tomorrow before the game times start around the property and up and down the street. Beautiful area, great pricing, personal service. You get your breakfast in the mornings before you go out and do what you're going to do for the day. So definitely check that out. And I think that's about it. I guess until next time, have fun storming the castle.
That's all.